A robotic Santa goes on a killing rampage. This is a premise that should work. But does it? What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be talking a little bit about Christmas, Bloody Christmas. This film is on Shudder at the moment. I got a chance to check it out in theaters, and I didn't know anything going in. I just knew the very basic premise about this film, and boy was I excited, because ultimately this is a premise that should be tailor-made for me. This is a robotic Santa that goes on a killing rampage. So I was ready with my bucket of corn. I was sitting down with my friend. We went to go check this film out. We were both very excited just because of the overall premise of this film, and to a degree. There are things that I liked about this film and things that I didn't overall. Overall, this was a movie that I did not hate myself for watching. I thought it was a pretty fun film to a degree, but I really enjoyed this film for a small portion of it. The whole premise of this film is about a group of friends that decide to get shit-faced on Christmas. They don't have really big plans. They don't go out to celebrate or anything. But when a robotic toy from a nearby shop goes haywire, it begins to go on a killing rampage. And for the most part, that's what got my butt into the seat. But the overlying premise of this film kind of got stale after a little while. While I really enjoyed the premise about this robotic Santa that goes on a killing rampage, there really wasn't a lot of killing in this movie. It's not about a robotic Santa that goes throughout this whole entire town massacring a lot of people. It was just contained to this small group of people. That's where the shtick of this film got a little bit tiring for me, because I was really expecting this film to be extremely bloody, extremely gory, just a lot of nasty kills. And while you still get a lot of those nasty kills in this movie, there really are far in between, and there are just some characters that are semi-disposable and kind of unlikable to a degree. I really like the relationship that they built between these two friends, Tori Toombs and Robbie Reynolds. They work together. One has a crush on the other. The other one's just running her business as a record store. And so they have a really nice budding relationship. They seem like they have great chemistry. They seem like they've been friends for years, and they just love hanging out. I wanted to hang out with these two for the majority of this film. I really enjoyed that interaction. When they were on screen, I really enjoyed their chemistry. I really liked the way that they were talking. Their dialogue was fresh. And so I will give this film the credit of building that relationship really well. It also has a really nice 80s aesthetic. The film is directed by Joe Begos, who also did a film called FWV, I believe, or FVWF. One of the two. I only saw the poster when I was digging into this guy's history of directing, and for the most part, it looks like he really does love being in that, having that 80s aesthetic. The cinematography for this film really shines bright in this film, because the way that he plays with color in this movie, it really added a little bit to the film. It added a little bit more of that 80s nostalgia or 70s nostalgia. And you kind of feel that in the score for this film, because it does feel like a John Carpenter type of score, and that actually added fuel to this film. However, some of the dialogue in this film is kind of not the best, and when you have a premise like this, you cannot have it go stale as much as it did, because the overlining premise of this film was actually great, and the title is kind of misleading, because even though you do have a lot of great kills, there really isn't a lot of bloodshed in this movie. It's really tight-lipped, and it's sometimes hard to see at points. One of the reasons why I was really excited for this film is because playing at a nearby Cinemark theater, and it had the warning, the little red warning of 17 plus, must be accompanied by an adult or by a parent or a guardian adult over the age of 17. I believe that's what the warning is. But that warning was also attached to Terrifier 2, and that movie was massively gory. So I was kind of expecting it to go in the same route as Terrifier 2 when it comes to the blood and gore to this film. But there really wasn't a lot of that in this movie, and that was a really disappointing factor. I really wanted to see this robotic Santa go on a really nice killing rampage throughout this entire small town, and just going from victim to victim to victim without having without actually having morals to why he is doing it, because he is a robotic Santa that kids will probably buy. The problem with this movie is that this robot is dead set on killing these two, that it goes from one place to another, and one issue that I had with it, how did this robotic Santa know where to go? Like, where does he know where each victim is? That is where I had an issue with this movie, and it kind of soured it to a degree, because once this thing comes to life and it starts killing a couple of people, that is where you have a lot of fun. And they go, when it comes to the killing, they actually go. There is no limit who this robot can kill and will kill. It doesn't matter who you are, it will go after you. So that is something, another huge plus, because there is a death in this movie that you don't see a lot of, because people will be terrified of the reaction that it will probably get. But it was a gnarly kill, and it's going to be very upsetting for some people, because that's something that that's something that you kind of don't want to see happen on screen. But it was a really nice kill. It was something that was unexpected. There are a lot of gnarly kills in this movie. I'm not going to deny that. There are some great ones. But when it comes to a title like Christmas, Bloody Christmas, that is where the film kind of disappoints me to a degree. I don't think this movie is going to be an instant classic. I think this is going to be like Terrifier, where very small people will watch it when it first comes out, but then it will grow a cult following as time goes on. And if they ever did decide to make a sequel to this movie, I wouldn't be too excited, but I would definitely show up just to see what happens, just to see how they are able to take care of this character. The way that they portrayed the robot in this movie was actually great. The design of it, the way that it made the heavy footsteps feel, it felt like it was an actual robot, so you have the huge metal clunking when it goes upstairs. That was a great touch. But overall, for me personally, this was a movie that, even though I knew nothing about, I didn't have high expectations. But I think some of my expectations, when I found out the premise for this film, that got it really sky high. And for the first couple of moments that this robot is on screen killing people, it actually works. But there were just far too in between problems that I had with this movie that kind of took the enjoyment out of me. I don't think this is going to be a very strong cult following, but I think this is a movie that, if you are in for a rainy day, this is a movie that you actually might want to check out. So overall, I would say that Christmas, Bloody Christmas would get a solid recommendation from me, mostly because I think this is a movie that is perfect for streaming. This isn't a movie that isn't getting a wide release, so don't worry about rushing out to see it in theaters. But if it did have a wide release, I wouldn't be telling you to rush out to see it in theaters. I would just tell you to wait for it on streaming. But it is streaming on Shudder right now, and on AMC Plus. So if you have the time and you're very interested about this movie, do check it out on Shudder or AMC Plus, because I think for the most part there were some fun enjoyment in this movie that I had. There were just too far in between problems that I had that really grinded my gears, and it took some of the enjoyment out of me. But those are my thoughts on Christmas, Bloody Christmas. Have you guys checked it out? Did you like it? Did you not? Do you have any expectations for this movie? If you know what this movie is about, go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you like this video, go ahead and click that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on more videos. Click that bell notification so you get notified every single time that a video pops up. And we'll catch you guys on the flip side.